The story of the Labor History Society is a long one and a short one. The long one is that Lucy Parsons in 1886 formed the Pioneer and Aid Association. Lucy Parsons, the widow of Albert Parsons, one of the great martyrs, probably the most well-known of the martyrs, and she went on to continue to be an activist until her death in 1942, and she was still speaking from the Chicago River on barges because the city had forbade her from speaking on land because she was a radical, and so she would be on interstate commerce. I guess it's interstate being on the river, and she was able to talk to the workers about organizing. And Mark may or may not say more about her, but she's there right next to her husband and her family at the Haymarket Martyrs Monument, and we pay her tribute. But Lucy is somebody that you realize the power of the history that so few Americans know. Some of you may not know that Lucy Parsons has a park now named after her. Right near a man, raise your hand, he lives right there, this guy up front, and a friend of mine, a former coworker, Al Drance, who had the foresight to retire so they can enjoy history. And this park, they created a firestorm. It was incredible how certain people came out of the woodwork to oppose the idea that a radical of American history would have a park named after them. It was unbelievable. So, but the park did get named, and it's similar to the struggle of getting at Haymarket Square, something that Illinois Labor History Society had fought for years since its inception to get Haymarket Square, Randolph and Des Plaines downtown some recognition, and now there's a beautiful statue there, and we hope that with the plaque being dedicated every single year, they will soon build a wall. In fact, I've talked to the city about this to start the plaques, having another place because we're running out of space. Every year somebody dedicates a plaque, and this year, if you read the literature, you'll see the Labor History Society is dedicating a plaque. We figured, well, it's the 125th anniversary, we're the ones who helped make it happen. Maybe this is our year, so we'll do it. And so on April 30th, the day of the reenactment of the Haymarket, which you have a flyer about as well, we're going to dedicate a plaque. And this goes back to my story about people from around the world, because these are tributes to workers everywhere because of the events that led up to Haymarket and because of Haymarket. And I was giving a tour, going back to that story that I somehow got past. I was giving a tour a few years ago to, I think it was a group of teachers. I'm not quite sure I remember now. And there were two men speaking Spanish to each other, and there was another man interpreting. It was right by the Haymarket Martyrs statue. And one of them came up to me and started trying to talk to me, but it was all Spanish, and my 1 year of Spanish, you can say hola, and that's it. So what did they want? And the guy interpreting said, they want some memento from you to keep because this is so important. I said, well, where are they from? And he said, Colombia. He said, they're in sanctuary in my church. His Reverend's Methodist Church on the north side had these two workers because if you followed any of the international issues, trade unionists in Colombia, it's like the death sentence to be a trade unionist in Colombia, or at least it was until recently, where up to 2,500 trade unionists had been executed by the paramilitary, unfortunately supported by U.S. money and many years over, for being trade unionists and trying to organize unions. And they had to leave the country or they would have been killed. And so I said, so why are they here right now? And the Reverend says, this is the first place in the world they wanted to come to when they left Colombia. Think about the power of that they knew, the martyrs of Chicago, and so many people around the world do. Now, it's not that everybody that marches on May 1st knows the martyrs of Chicago, but, many do, and millions do, and of course, billions of workers. It's the most celebrated holiday in the world, probably, as a secular holiday. And yet, here I was at Elgin Community College this morning, giving a talk to faculty and students in the community about these events. And so I said, who here knows what May Day is? Not one person. I said, who knows what holiday is one of the most celebrated holidays everywhere in the world? Not one person. I said, so why is it that one of the most celebrated holidays around the world and you have no idea what it is? And they, of course, had no idea why they didn't have any idea. I said, well, now that you understand that question, that's all you need to know, is ask the question why you in America don't know these issues, and why this most celebrated statue that people know about, that we're restoring, Americans know little. Most of you probably do know the story, but there's a lot more to it, and that's why we're so excited about this 125th anniversary and being able to tell the story. So we not only have plaques, so the Colombians were the first international group to dedicate a plaque to the monument downtown, the Haymarket